Are you a new forest landowner who is interested in sustainably managing your land to meet your desired goals and objectives but are unfamiliar with how to achieve them? You probably have all kinds of goals like creating better hunting land or leaving an inheritance for your grandchildren, or simply making your land more aesthetically pleasing. Whatever your goal is, how do you, as a forest landowner, achieve them on your property? Well, you can easily achieve these goals and more using silvicultural forest practices. You may be wondering, what is silviculture? The textbook definition is the art and science of controlling the establishment, growth, composition, health, and quality of forests and woodlands to meet the diverse needs and values of landowners and society on a sustainable basis. That definition may have gone over your head, so the easiest way to understand silviculture is to compare it to something we all know, agriculture. Agriculture is a science or practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for the growing of crops and the rearing of animals to provide food, wool, and other products, while silviculture is the growing and cultivation of trees. To put it simply, silviculture is like agriculture for trees. Silviculture has 6 characteristics that make the use of silvicultural forest practices successful in meeting various landowner goals, like timber production, wildlife habitat improvement, recreation, and wildfire resilience. I will be explaining each of these characteristics in detail in the following slides. The first silvicultural characteristic is imitating nature through silviculture. For example, the effects of a wildfire disturbance can be recreated by silvicultural forest practices. This is without the detrimental effects of a wildfire, which is desirable in creating a sustainable forest. The second characteristic is conservation of site productivity. The site for the purpose of this slidecast is your forested land. The site productivity refers to how many trees can grow on your land naturally. Silviculturists can determine the productivity of your land and create a management plan that is achievable and tailored to your goals. The third characteristic is control of stand structure and development. Structure refers to the age, size, and distribution of trees within your forest, while the development is their growth over time. Silvicultural forest practices heavily influence these properties through management plans. Typically, forests are managed by age structures. The fourth characteristic is control of species composition. Silvicultural forest practices can be used to regulate the number of different species present within your forest for either a single species or multiple species forest. Regulating the species composition of your site will meet goals like aesthetics and reducing forest health risks. The fifth characteristic is control of stand density. Silvicultural forest practices can help maintain, increase, or decrease the number of individual trees within your forest. In doing so, you may receive a profit for the removed timber, create desirable wildlife habitat, and reduce wildfire risks. The last characteristic of silviculture is control of rotation length. Silvicultural forest practices can help manipulate the growing spaces for trees and shorten the length of time before a forest area is harvested. This can increase the return rate of timber production for you and your grandchildren. Silvicultural characteristics are the foundation for sustainable forest management, and implementing them can help reach your goals for your site. Now that you have learned the basic silvicultural characteristics, do not feel overwhelmed in achieving them alone. You can contact your local forestry office, who will put you in contact with a silvicultural specialist within your area. This specialist will meet with you to answer specific questions you may have or create a sustainable forest management plan suited for your site. Thank you so much for your interest in sustainably managing your forested land.